Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Angela, and welcome back to the last video in my hashtag Tarot Reflections video. This is video 8, I think. Yeah. This video is if you've been watching my channel this year, I've been doing a specific deck of the month that I would buy for that month. Just because I have a long wish list, and some of the things on my wish list have been on my wish list for a very long time. I started reading tarot in 2019. Some of these decks have been on that wish list since then, and well, 2 of them have been. The rest of them were decks that I've been waiting on for a long time, that I knew were coming out, that finally came out in that specific month. Yeah. Or decks that I have been on my wish list for a very long time, and I just finally ordered them. I did want to show you guys real quick. I got a calendar of spells for Christmas from my buddy at work. I don't do spells. I don't consider myself a witch. However, when I first started doing past lives, I went to a metaphysical fair and had a past life reading, and it popped up that I had been a herbal witch in a past life. And I knew everything there was to know about herbs, and I knew how to use them in spells and things like that, tinctures, remedies, what have you. And so, but when I hear, for some reason, when I hear the word witch, I cringe. I don't know if that's because when I was a witch in a past life, I was murdered because I was a witch, but, not to say that anybody can be whatever, have whatever practice they want. They can be whatever they want. I am a medium in this life, a kind of procrastinating medium, if you will. But I've always been intrigued, and this is kind of my uncomfort zone, which I find interesting. And I find interesting that this was gifted to me for Christmas for the 2025 year, and the Judgment card is my card of the year for 2025. And I feel like the Judgment card is always about self-judgment. You're putting too much pressure on yourself, you're judging yourself, and I feel like that, I don't know why, but that feels weird. It all feels synchronistic to me. So, and there's a lot of different things in here. If you guys have any advice on how to do spells, if you do spells for beginners, let me know in the comments. I did buy, the day one is spell for new beginnings, which I have not done any of these yet. And you basically light a candle, a purple candle, and it shows you here what the candles, all the candles, different candles in the spells for throughout the year mean. Right here. And so I just found it interesting. And I mean, I already do affirmations, and that's kind of a spell. I don't know, maybe. Anyway, it just makes me uncomfortable doing this particular type of work. But obviously, things that have been happening the last few weeks it's the universe's way of saying maybe get into this. So maybe the Judgment year is about getting out of my comfort zone and moving into something I'm not familiar with. And it was just like with tarot, though. I was like, no, that's the devil's work. I'm never going to buy a tarot deck. Cut to several years later, I have hundreds of decks. So, yeah, this is a new venture for me. So if you guys have any advice on that, let me know. Anyway, without further ramble, because we're 4 minutes in. So these were, and I did narrow it down, because if you watch my decks I got in whatever month I got the decks in, there was a couple months where I had more than one deck of the month. And, I chose to narrow it down to specifically one. So this is 12 decks I'm showing you, all for January through December. So without further ado, you probably already know if you've watched my channel at any point this year, because I think most of these decks are in part of the Tarot Reflections videos I've had. But this is the MJ Cullinane Urban Crow Oracle by Hay House. This was my January deck for 2024. Deck of the month. I purposely bought this to be my deck of the month for January. I don't know why that's super close. Got candles here that I bought for the spells, and then I got one lit here. If you can see, it's flickering. So if you get distracted by that, that's what it is. But it's nice, matte Hay House cardstock. I fell hard for this deck. There's a reason why this deck has always been on my list. Because it's beautiful, and it's stunning, and it reads fantastic. And I was just kicking myself that I did not buy this sooner. But this was my deck of the month for January of 2024. It is now going to be, I'm trying to stuff a little bit different in 2025. So this is my deck of the month for January 2025, in that it will be used, the only oracle I use in 2025, unless something else calls to me. This will be the deck I use for 2025, and I will pair it each week with different tarot decks. Just because, and I will only pair it with decks that really call to me. So the deck I'm using with it right now, I was very surprised that it was like screaming at me on the shelf. And then because I usually bury that deck because I don't like it. And it was sitting right up front, and I'm like, what is happening? So it like moved itself in front of the line on the shelf and then screamed at me and said, use me. But I'm using it with this deck here because I usually pair 2 or 3 tarot with 1 oracle. So this is the deck I will be using throughout the month of January 2025, just to get a more in-depth use with this deck. And it fits the wintry season that it's January 5th, 2025 right now, and we are in the middle of a huge blizzard. It started icing around 6 p.m. yesterday. We got about 2 inches of ice. It turned into snow late last night, and we've got probably 4 or 5 inches of snow right now. It's not supposed to stop till 3 a.m. tomorrow morning, and it's only like 10 o'clock right now, a.m. So, interesting. So, for February deck of the month, we have the Hush Tarot. This is U.S. Games deck. Again, this is an older deck. Everybody knows this deck. Everybody already knows. Either they love it or they hate it because it's fantastic. It's always been on my list. I just never purchased it. I'm like, this is a year. Shuffle's amazing. It's got the nice buttery cardstock. It's a little bit smaller than a typical oracle size, which shocked me because I thought it was going to be a larger oracle size. But again, it's another deck I got in the month that I was just like, why have you waited so long? To be fair, this is not traditional RWS, so if I had gotten it any sooner than I did get it, I probably wouldn't have bonded with it as well. But I've been reading tarot for a few years now. I have quite a few decks that go their own way. In fact, that's what I love about them. And I love, love, love this deck. I'm a autumnal kind of person where I like the autumnal colors in the deck, and that just does it for me. So, yeah, I got this, and I was like, yeah, instantly blown away. Instant love. Yeah, for the month of February 2024. This was my deck of the month for that month. Anyway, moving on to March. I had pre-ordered this deck in December. I've been watching her for over, I want to say, 4 years. And I was finally was able for pre-orders. This is an indie deck in December. I got it in March. It's also my deck of the year, Tarot of Echoes by Anna Torrian. This was never not going to be my number 1. I've been waiting for this for so long. So long. This is the indie version. She did assign all of her copies. There's no book to it, but it will be coming out mass market with a book. It's got the nice, beautiful cardstock that the Oracle of Echoes has. Shuffle's amazing. The backs are gorgeous. The fronts are gorgeous. It is a fabulous deck. And I've said, she's one of like 4 creators that I will buy everything they have. Everything they have is so stunning. So beautiful. Oh, I love, love, love her decks. And I have most of them now. So, there's no other words. This was my deck of the year. Period. End of story. Because I've been waiting on it for so long. And it's so stunning. So stunning. I've been following this deck since the beginning. Since she started creating it on her Instagram, posting images of it. Just, it's so beautiful. So beautiful. Gorgeous deck. So that is, and I'm just steadily keeping a lookout. Not really worried about it because I have the indie version. But I'm at the same time, and there's a piece in the back of my brain going, when's the tarot? When's it coming out mass market? When's it coming out mass market? Just like with the Bonestone and Earthflesh Tarot, I've been told it's coming out mass market. I have not seen anything, have not heard anything, but at some point, it's going to come out mass market and I'm going to buy it. But that was March's deck of the month. No, April's deck of the month. I put it in this bag. I bought the bag before I ever bought the deck. The deck is the B Tarot. It's Llewellyn, but it's got this nice linen-y cardstock that's non-slippy, and I'm here for it. Love the backs. I saw this deck on the Temperance card on a 2022 calendar of Llewellyn. And at the time, if you looked up this deck, it didn't exist. And I'm like, what is happening? Like, it doesn't exist. And then I started seeing people posting images on Instagram, and I'm like, where is it? And then I want to say almost a year ago, it started showing pre-order on Llewellyn's site, and I'm like, oh. And I don't know that I pre-ordered it. I don't remember if I pre-ordered it or not, but it came out in April. I bought it in April. That's why it's my deck of the month for April. It's the perfect April deck because it's got all these bees. It's a very springy, summery deck. The Temperance card is the card that was on that calendar, and I'm like, I need this deck because that card is stunning. Her dress is the beehive. Like, come on. Gorgeous. The Sun card, one of my favorite Sun cards ever in this deck. And I think it was this deck that I started really bonding with the Sun card. It's a stunning deck, and I love it to pieces. But this was my deck of the month for April, and I love it. And I bought this pouch off like Temu or something. It's a thick quality pouch, and I'm like, this is gonna go perfect with the B Tarot if it ever comes out. And I bought the bag, and it sat waiting for this deck for like at least 8 months. That's how long ago I've been waiting on this deck. So, number 5, for May, we have the Seasons of the Witch Litha Oracle. This is my first and one of 2 oracles in this whole video. I only have 3 indie decks in here, too, and one of them was the Tarot Geckos I just showed you. The backs are stunning. The edges are stunning. As soon as I saw that this was purple, this is by Rockpool. We all know, because we all got all these decks. As soon as I saw the purple and the edging, I was like, purchase. For some reason, like I said, I'm a Virgo. I do love fall or autumn, but I love all the butterflies and the flowers, and I'm very much into nature, and I found that interesting because what I said at the beginning of this video, how I was some kind of earth witch or something in that past life, and I think that's the part of me that remembers how much I love plants, how much I love animals, how much I love nature, and this deck screams that for me. It screams that part of the year where everything is abloom again and everything is alive again after a cold, hard winter, and I love that thought process. And I think this is a stunning deck, and I waited for this for a minute too. I would watch things and be like, oh, it's not till this month, and then this, and then again I would check it, like, not this one, but coming up, this was deck of the month for May. But there's decks like this one here for June, Ghostbusters Tarot. I saw this, I think 2021 or 2020, on Amazon. It said coming soon, and then it didn't come out until 2024, June of 2024. I'm like, I waited so long for this deck. So long for this deck to come out. It's by Inside Editions. It is a mass market deck. I know people don't like Inside Editions. The problem I have with that is, I love all their kitschy little decks. And look at that Sun card. That's stunning. I love all their decks. They either hit real hard or real soft. And this one I think is cool for Halloween. If you're wanting something fun and playful, just like the Hocus Pocus Tarot, which I have. They're very much a fun Halloween, not too serious kind of deck. And I feel like you need pips in these types of decks because sometimes they can be hard hitting. But that was the Ghostbusters Tarot. I sat and watched and watched and watched for this deck for years, couple years on Amazon until it actually had a release date, and then I bought it. I think this may have been one I pre-ordered also. So that was June. July, we're back to Anatorian. This is the Pathwork Oracle by Daniel Ahern, artwork by Anatorian. This is a US Games deck. It came out in June. Right, we're on June. No, July. This is July's. Came out in July. The nice soft matte cardstock like US Games has. There's not many cards in here. I think I said there's 40 cards. But this is very specific for pathworking. That's my dog. Stop. She keeps trying to go outside, but then she don't want to go outside because there's like several inches of snow. And it's now like 18 degrees. So, yeah. Welcome to January in Missouri. I think this is a cool deck. It's specifically for pathworking. I've been waiting on this for a long time also. Like a couple years ago, she was working on it. She stopped working on Tarot of Echoes to finish this. And then when on her Instagram, she's like, okay, I've finished that deck. I'm going back to Tarot of Echoes. And then I've heard nothing about this deck, period. Like nothing. And then all of a sudden it was available on Amazon or US Games to purchase. And I'm like, what? Like there was no advertising or anything. It was just out. And I'm like, okay. But I've been waiting on this deck for a couple years also. And it was not anything else I got would have been bumped off because it's Anatorian's artwork. Anything I get of hers in a month is going to be the deck of the month. So that's why this was the deck of the month for July. Oh my gosh, she's been outside. Okay, I had to pause it to take her out because she hasn't went potty all morning because the snow, and she finally made herself go. Right, of course, when I'm filming. So that Pathwork Oracle was for July. Next is another indie deck. I put it in this bag. I don't know. I've made bags for all the other decks. I don't know if I'm going to make one for this one because I really do like this Raven here. But this is the Heartwood Tarot. This is the deck of the month for August. And again, it's one of those decks I waited on for so long that no matter what I got in the month of August, this was going to be number one. It was going to knock off whatever I had in that place, and this was going to be number one deck for the month of August. It's stunning. We all know. It's gorgeous. I freaking love it to pieces. Yeah. I love it hardcore. I love anything Three Trees Tarot makes. Again, they're another one of those creators that no matter what they do, I'm going to buy it. Period. It's stunning. I've used it a little bit. I have a hard time using their decks just because they're so stunning. And they warm my Virgo heart so much that I'm afraid I'm going to break the deck. So I don't use them a lot. But I've kind of went out of my way to make sure I've started using them this year. Especially when I had the dream about the dragons, and so I used the Smoke Ash and Embers for a while. But that is the Heartwood Tarot. That is the deck of the month for August of 2024. So that was August. September, which is my birthday month, I basically bought this for myself for my birthday. It's by Rockpool. It's the Lumina Tarot. This, I waited all year. This is the one of two decks that I knew in like January. It already had a date it was coming out. And I waited and waited and waited. I love the cardstock here. It's a nice cardstock. It's silver gilding. It's beautiful. It shuffles freaking amazing. These are the bats. I saw this and I'm like, that reminds me of the Connected and Free. Did not know it was the same creator. The Connected Free is an Oracle deck that's been out of print for a very long time. And I was like, I'm going to get it. If I can't get the Connected and Free, I'm going to get that. And then once it came closer to it coming out, I realized that is the same creator. I'm like, oh, definitely getting it now. I love this Hermit. Definitely getting it now. And then it came out right, I think it came out September 4th. My birthday is the 2nd. So, it came out right around my birthday. I'm like, wasn't not getting this. But yeah, it's gorgeous. It's stunning. I love it. Hopefully they'll, this creator will release the Oracle as a mass market also. Because this apparently was an indie deck at one point. I didn't notice it. I didn't know about it until it was going mass market. But it's stunning, and I love it to pieces. I had quite a few decks. Maybe that'll be a video I can do. Where'd the box just go? I have quite a few decks this year that came out that was indie, that came out mass market that I purchased. So maybe we'll do a video on that. If y'all want to see that, let me know in the comments. Anyway, that was September. October was The Unicorn's Journey Tarot by Lisa Pepez. This was a Kickstarter. Nice, beautiful matte cardstock. Stunning. We all know and love this deck. It's stunning. It's pink edged. She did a fantastic job. It only took a few months to get this. I think it ended in May, and we got it in October. Fantastic. Beautiful backs, beautiful fronts. Look at that, 3 of air. I love the storyline with it. Whatever I was getting in October, no matter what I was getting in October, if I got this deck in October, it was going to knock off whatever decks I had. This was going to be number 1 in October if I got it in October, which I did. It's beautiful. It's stunning. I love it to pieces. 2 pieces. Yeah. I've talked about this at nauseum, so we're not going to get too into it. And everybody has this deck, so they know. It's beautiful. It's stunning. This was my deck of the month for October. Down to 2. Deck of the month for, and that was my own other indie deck I had. So I had Tarot of Echoes, the Heartwood, and the Unicorn's Journey Tarot, which was indie, or Kickstarter. November's deck of the month was the Tarot of the Cosmic Seed. This is the 2nd edition. I have the 2nd edition indie. This model, this mass market version, was modeled after that copy. So it's exactly what I have in the indie version. Even the cardstock feels the same. This is by Wiser Books, and I'm going to say Wiser Books has stepped up their game. This deck is gorgeous. It's got that beautiful shimmy I love from indie quality. I've used the crap out of this deck. I knew, like I knew with the Lumina Tarot, I knew in like January or February of 2024, this was coming out in November. And so I just waited until it was available. And I think I pre-ordered it like the day before. Still got it, I think, the day it was coming out. That's how quick it was. But yeah, it's a gorgeous deck. I've talked about this deck at nauseum this year because I bought the indie version, I think last year or the beginning of this year, or at the end of 2023 or the beginning of 2024, I bought the indie version and then knew this one was coming out, and I just waited for it. So stunning, so beautiful. Yeah, and then the Oracle came out in October, and I bought it mass market also. So I could, between all the decks I got this year that came out mass market that used to be indie, I could do a whole video on that too. So the deck of the month for December, which you guys probably know because I just did my decks, the decks I got in December and mentioned it. I put it in this wrap. Oh my gosh. I was going to use the Desert Illuminations because I waited for so many years for that deck to come out. But to be honest, I didn't know it was actually coming out when it came out until like a week before. This deck, however, is just like what I started out at the beginning of the year, the Urban Crow Oracle and the Hush Tarot. I bought because it was on my wish list for years, and I just never purchased it. It is the Dreaming Way Tarot by US Games. I love the backs. I edged it in this green. It's a harder thicker cardstock, but it does still feel kind of soft. But I fell in love with this deck in December. I used the crap out of it, and I'm like, oh my god. So now, there's another deck out that I've been hemming and hawing about for about 2 or 3 years. I think we'd be fabulous with this deck. And now I feel like I have to get it. See how that works? You buy a deck that you've been waiting for years to buy, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I know 2 or 3 decks that could go with this, but I have none of them because I have nothing like this cardstock. It's stunning. It's beautiful. I think it's a very wintry deck, and I love it. I haven't used it a whole lot, but I've used it enough to know that I do not regret the purchase of purchasing this when I purchased it. So that is all my decks of the month for 2024. Every deck that I specifically had for that month. Some of them changed throughout the year because it's decks that either came in from Kickstarter or indie decks that finally came to me that I pre-ordered, or what decks that finally came out mass market that were saying they would come out that finally decided whatever time they came out. But that is the decks of the month I had for 2024. Every deck, every month that I had. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, don't hesitate to comment below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification button so you're alerted to any future videos. And y'all have a good night.